for trout as well as grayling. This is a real easy tie. Came out in the early 90s by a Dutch tyer named Hans Weilman. And what he does is he incorporates one CDC feather, and then he just wraps it up the hook shank, and that's your whole dubbed body and your legs. And so he's killing two birds with one stone, so to speak.
Two fish and one fly?
Two fish and one fly. So what you do is you have your CDC. What you do is you grab the base of the stem, and you pull everything forward. And all you're doing is you're just stroking those fibers so they all come together, and you have a tip like this. Okay?
Like,
can you see it? What I've done is I've just grabbed the tip of the base of my CDC, and I just stroke it forward. And what that does is it sets me up to tie this in.
just the tip.
Just the tip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my jam knot.
The tip's going to be what?
The
Quarter
tip
of an
is
inch?
Well,
Length of your shaft?
you know what? I have a hard time with this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this stuff in the middle of the hook, just as an example, okay? Now I'm going to do 2 wraps, and I'm going, God, I wish I was, a little bit steadier, and I could tie the tips in. What I do is you can just pull this stuff back until you have your tips tied in. Pretty slick, huh?
Yeah.
So this is pretty well tied in now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap forward to where I'm going to tie in my wings on this caddis pattern. You can do one of 2 ways. You can spin this stuff and wrap it, or you can just wrap it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a wrap on this. If you want it thicker, run 2 CDC at the same time.
Why would you spin it?
Just for a variation.
So you back off and get another piece of string and spin it?
No, I just spin the stem itself.
Oh.
So it traps it. What it does, it gives segmentation to the body.
Oh, okay, with the string on it.
There's no string. I'm just doing it with the stem only.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see that all the loose ends, see how you come up and all of a sudden those loose ends start coming out. Can you see how it's starting to fuzz out on me? Okay. So here, those are my legs.
They do look
All the
like
buggy
your
stuff. Look how narrow the body is. Okay? Can you see it or not? I can't see it.
No, we can see it. It shows up real good on the
Okay, so I'm going to do some locking turns, and all this stuff goes back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the stem off. Okay? So that's my body and that's my legs all in one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some coastal deer hair. This is stuff George showed us more than once.
This George here?
George Bavoy. So I'm going to give him credit for this. This is the same stuff that they use for sparkle den. When I was in Montana, I stopped in Blue Ribbon Flies and high graded the stuff and grabbed a bunch of patches and walked out of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab probably about a half of a pencil. Maybe let's go a third of a pencil diameter on the deer hair.
1/8 of an inch.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this stuff off. You can use a comb, but if you take your fingers and just pull, all the underfur will come out. And then I'm going to stack it.
You're going to tie another one, right?
I'll tie another one. Okay, so now I got all my tips are evened up. I'm going to go in there and see if there's any broken tips and pull them off, but it's not really necessary. I'll come up here on the top and I'll grab the tops and I'll grab all the short ones and pull them off. And I still have pretty much even. Now this thing is going to go just a little bit extended behind the hook, like a caddis body would, right? And I'm going to come here and I'm going to mark on the front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer. I've already have my hand set up to where I'm going to tie it in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the butt section. This is going to be my head. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it straight down. Do one 1.5 wraps and pull up. And then I'm going to go through that head that I just shaped. And then I'm going to pull up the head and I'm going to go underneath it a couple times. Okay, this pattern's done now. And so what I have is the tent wing of the caddis pattern. All I have to do is whip finish this now. And you're done. Okay. The hardest part is trying to figure out how to tie in the CDC, turn around and get the tips in, set up your length on the deer hair for the length of the hook, cut the head off. And what I was doing, I've been struggling with Frank, and I tried to show him how to do this, and I wasn't cutting it off. And I went back and said, how am I supposed to tie this? And what you're supposed to do is cut the head off first, and it'll turn out like that. So that's your fly right there. What you have is about a 160-degree wing coming off. What I can do is I can pass this around. This is how it